Welcome to episode 3 of the Future You Diaries. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've got a side hustle, you anticipate to be either one of those things, you're gonna love this. Beck, you have a wonderful purpose for being in the world, and that is to leave it tidier than you found it. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. It kind of gives me the ick that you can see me in the reflection, but this is the best lighting, this is my favorite angle, so this is where we're going to stay. I hope you guys are proud of me. I have been on my YouTube grind. I'm talking 2 uploads a week for the past 3 weeks. I'm proud of myself. I'm very, very proud of myself. I am really loving the long form content because I feel like I connect more with you guys. You guys connect more with me when you can see more of my personality, see more into my life, sit with me in my house. I just feel like the YouTube gang is like a different side of social media, which I'm loving. I'm really excited for this week's vlog because there's a lot happening in the business this week. So if you're new here or maybe you don't really know what I do, I have a company basically, and the company is Stewart Pty Ltd. And underneath that company, we have the e-commerce business, which is the habit tracker. We also have Beck Stewart Pty Ltd is also on social media. So we have our paid collaborations, which is also a form of income. And we also have the podcast, which is another source of income, I suppose, if you will, but it's also another part of my brand, which is another element underneath the umbrella. So basically, I do the social media stuff, I do the e-commerce business through the habit tracker stuff, and then we also have the podcast in her power. So this week is a huge week in business for 2 reasons. Every time I think about it, I get really nervous. First and foremost, I have a vision board moment happening, a vision board career moment happening this week. You've probably already seen it on social media and you've probably already seen from the thumbnail what is happening this week, but it is a vision board career moment. You'll see it later in the video. You can probably already tell from the thumbnail, but this is like vision board. Okay, and it's happening this week. The second reason there's lots happening in the business this week is because next week, Zach and I are actually going away on a week-long road trip from Gold Coast, traveling all the way through New South Wales down to Victoria, staying in Victoria for a couple of days, I think 4 days, and then driving all the way back. We're taking the dogs. We've hired a car. I didn't want to drive my car down. It's a long way. It gives me anxiety when I use the car too much because I think that I'm running it into the ground. Anyway, so I'm going away next week and taking a little bit of a break with Zach, seeing Zach's dad in Victoria, taking the dogs down. We're just making a big kind of holiday, not a holiday. It's kind of just a bit of a break, right? So that means this week, I have no other option than to show up in 110% capacity in my business because I need to ensure that when I do go away for that week, I am prepared, all the work is done, content is planned, I have everything organized to go, I have everything approved with my marketing team, with my designer, with my video editor, with a Tia, who is now pretty much my brand coordinator for the habit tracker. Everything is set in stone, locked in, ready to go and organized so that I can go off and enjoy a week away with Zachy B and the puppies. So welcome to episode 3 of the Future You Diaries, where I'm showing you how I'm building the business of my dreams through my Future You filter. We are looking at everything I do across my personal brand, the e-commerce business, and the podcast through the Future You lens. I'm really excited to show you how I'm organizing myself, the programs that I use, introduce you to my team a little bit in the back end. I'm going to show you everything behind the scenes of my business and how I'm showing up as my future self inside those businesses. So it's going to be a good one. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've got a side hustle, you anticipate to be either one of those things, you're gonna love this. So today is a big aligned work day, but first up, I'm getting a human design reading. If you're a woo-woo girl, you need to listen to this. If you are superstitious in any way, shape, or form, if you believe that there is something bigger and better out there, either looking after us, co-creating with us, whatever the hell goes on out there, something's happening, okay? So I'm not myself and astrology girly. I appreciate it and I understand it. That's a lie, I don't understand it. I appreciate it. I'm an Aquarius. I know your sun, moon, and rising kind of stuff, but I'm not oh, this is the full moon tonight and this is what this means and this moon does this and this means that. I don't know any of that. I'm learning as I go. But what I do know is astrologically, out on the planets out there somewhere, the horoscope system astrological system starts in March. So astrologically, the new year kind of starts in March if we go by the astrological system, right? The horoscope system. And it makes sense as to why some people, myself included, feel like the new year has started in March. January, February, what a schmozzle that was. Okay, now it's March. I feel like something has clicked into place for me. And I feel like, okay, my new year has started. I've said that in the past, 2 or 3 videos I've given you guys, and my podcast episodes, I keep harping on about, finally it's March. Now I feel like my new year has started. And I was speaking to Atia about it the other day, and she was like, it's because of the planets, because of like the horoscope system or whatever the hell. It makes sense. Yesterday, I had this really niggling feeling to book in for like a psychic reading. I don't know what it was. I just got this like gut feeling to like book in for a reading, and I wanted to book in for this human design reading. I have a hard time wrapping my head around it, but I'm very interested in it because a lot of what the astrological system says is going to happen happens, right? So I'm not against it. I'm not closed-minded. I'm very open-minded to it. Atia and my friend Georgie, and like pretty much that, if you follow the Rise and Conquer podcast, they actually had the human design like life coach galley on their podcast, and I've wanted to book a human design reading with her for ages. And basically what it tells you is who you are as a person, your personality, your energy, how your energy interacts with the world. It kind of like tells you like maybe what your purpose is, why you think the way you think, how you're wired to make decisions. It works with astrology, the energy or like chakra system, quantum physics. It's like a lot. It's a lot to wrap your head around. But Atia, my brain coordinator, pretty much said you have to book a reading with her. It'll change your life. It'll blow your mind. So I've done that. And my reading is in about 20 minutes. And I'm really nervous because I had this niggling feeling to book with her yesterday, and I had to provide all this information, my birth date, my birth time, where I was born, my full name, all that kind of stuff. And she had a look at my chart and she said, I just want to let you know I've had a quick sneak peek at your chart, and I want to let you know you're actually in your Saturn return, which is, you can Google it. It's a life-altering point in your life, and it happens between the age of 27 and 30. It happens at like random points for everyone, and it lasts for different amounts of time for different people, I think. But it can either go like really bad, like things break down, relationships break up, bad things happen in your life, or it can go really well. You find your purpose, you start a business. And she told me that I'm about to hit the peak of my Saturn return. And if my maths is correct, which it's probably not, let's be real, if I'm at the peak of my Saturn return, that means that quitting my 9 to 5, starting my business, pretty much finding my purpose, moving to the Gold Coast was part of my destiny. I know that sounds really woo-woo and like really like if you're not a spiritual girl, you'll be like rolling your eyes because like it used to be me. But I'm really interested to hear what she has to say about me. If I can, I will insert maybe a screen recording or the recording, like bits and pieces of my call. So it's a call. She's gone out, she's read my chart, she's put together a document for me. She's gonna do my reading for me in like an hour, like 60-minute call. And then I'll tell you guys all about it. I'm really nervous. But I know something's happening in my life. Something's happening in my world, personally, professionally, because things are working well, and they have been for the past 2 years. Everyone I know had the worst year of their lives in 2024. It was arguably one of the best for me. I don't know whether that's because of I'm in my Saturn return, and my Saturn return has been a positive thing. That's the way I was destined to work out. I don't know what I'm talking about really. But I will let you guys know how the call went. I will insert some bits and pieces if I can. Otherwise, I'll fill you in a sit down chit chat. I'm gonna make myself a coffee and get ready for my human design reading.
It honestly feels like the beginning of a lot for you. So yeah, there's a lot of like exciting things happening. Like your destiny in this lifetime is to be almost like you evolving as a business and a brand. It was really interesting to tap into. They kept saying one sentence to me. They mean spirit guides. The glory days are not behind you. You've only just got it started. This sense of like, don't feel like all your success has happened. They're telling me like you haven't even tasted and touched what's to come. Like it's only.
My reading finished 2 hours ago. I've been sitting here in silence, pretty much, just recapping, re-watching, rereading the reading. All I can say is, holy moly, I've been playing small. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because some of it is like quite personal and like it's just like a bit of fluff in my own life that doesn't really need to be word vomited over to you. But basically, I've done a bit of a recap for myself, but also I wanted to share it with mum and dad. My mum's very, very spiritual. She loves this stuff. My human design is the generator. I'm a generator. Very in tune with my intuition, and I have natural abilities to like channel the universe, my intuition, and like the source, which I already knew. I'm a very intuitive human. I don't talk about that much because it's kind of like a personal thing, but maybe one day. Very interesting around my chart and like what I'm meant to be doing, like my soul purpose. I'm designed to initiate conversations, initiate concepts, communicate them to people. And my human design profile is opportunist, number 4, and a role model, number 6. I am innately gifted with inspiring people, and I am here to embody my truth and authenticity by being myself, which I love because I really feel like I get to do that. I don't want to get emotional. I'm feeling a bit emotional, but I feel like that is so aligned with what I'm doing right now. She said, Beck, your soul carries the energy of big impact, the kind that doesn't just inspire, but moves people into action. It's not small scale leadership. It's the kind of presence that could command a world stage, ignite movements, and challenge the status quo. When you speak from your truth, your words hold weight, and they have the power to shift perspectives, rally people, and even spark rebellion if that's what's needed. In summary, you have the ability to say things that land in capital letters and can change the way people see and experience the world around them. Beck, you have a wonderful purpose for being in the world, and that is to leave it tidier than you found it. I really feel like that's all I really want to do, and then it obviously just makes so much sense because that's how I was built. And I really feel like I am working on those skills, you know, communicating better and helping you guys and giving you guys tangible, actionable things to change your own lives, which in turn changes the world around you. Because when you are a more happier, aligned human, and the person next to you is a happier, aligned human, and the people around you are happier, aligned humans, I just can't recommend that enough. I paid full price with fee. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I 110% recommend doing a human design chart if you want to get clear on your purpose, or you have a niggling feeling as to what it might be and you want to get clearer. That was honestly just the best. I need to take the afternoon to like debrief and like with myself. Amazing. Good morning. I'm in tracksuit pants today. It is a big work day today. Lots and lots to be done behind the laptop. I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing, how I structure my day, specifically on days that are like boring admin-y kind of styled stuff. Today's fit is tracksuit pants, Lorna Jane top. It is getting cold here on the Gold Coast. I typically wouldn't wear sweats. You guys know that I like to live life through a future you filter, through a future you lens, and that includes showing up as her, getting ready like she would, dressing like her. But today we are dressing accordingly. I still put effort into my face, even though I am quite barefaced today. I did my full skincare, had a shower, put on my brow gel, my blush, my mascara. You guys know that's my secret weapon at the moment. And I still feel ready and put together for the day. I've dressed accordingly, okay? I have just sat down and wrote out my to-do list for today. Now, the way that my brain works, and this was a lot of trial and error over the past 2 years of working for myself, but the way that my brain works is I like to batch all the tasks that require the same form of thinking of my brain together and attach them to a chunk of time, basically. So what I like to do every single day is to use a productivity timer. We actually sell these over on the Habit Tracker. They are currently sold out, but hopefully by the time this video goes live, they will be on their way, if not already at the Habit Tracker HQ. Basically, I will do 10 minutes every single morning to prep out my to-do list. And I like to break down my to-do list into admin tasks, creative tasks, and just like life tasks. So I'm going to walk you through what I'm going to do in the first hour of my day today. So I will turn my productivity timer to the 60 minutes. I will not stop working, and I will not pick up my phone or get distracted by anything until this alarm sounds, right? So I put it to 60 minutes and I'm going to smash out all my admin tasks for the morning. It's a power hour of admin tasks. I've got to pay some invoices. I need to get back to some emails. I need to get back to some YouTube comments. I need to do payroll. I need to pay rent. I need to touch base with my team for the day. I need to touch base with my designer for the day. And I've got to plan out the habit tracker strategy day, which I have scheduled in for this Friday. That sounds like a lot, but you'll be surprised as to how much you can actually get done once this thing goes away and you switch the brain over to pure aligned focus. So I'm gonna get crack-a-lackin' on my first hour of the day, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, first block of the morning is done. I'm actually gonna have an early lunch and then feed the dogs. We'll feed Lacey because she's still a little baby girl. She actually gets fed 3 times a day because she's still growing. And then I'm gonna make a coffee and then do my second workflow or power hour for the day. The second power hour is going to be quite creative. I do often find that when I do my creative work, sometimes it blows out over the hour, which is so fine. But what I do make sure that I do is when the hour is up, I still get up, move my shoulders, I'll maybe put a load of washing on or play with the dogs quickly. I make sure that like my body is not neglected through this time. It's really, really easy. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a creator in any capacity, even if you're like a corporate girly and you just get so heavy into a task, you often forget to take breaks. Even if your tasks blow out over the time, it still is so important. Take it from me that you are still setting those timers so that you are prompted to take a break. Like you are nudged to get up, move the body, put on a load of washing, make another cup of coffee, make a tea, have a sip of water for Christ's sake. Let's make some lunch together. Let's feed this puppy dog, make a second coffee. Actually, it's my third coffee, but that's okay. And then we'll get stuck into the fun stuff. And then I'm also gonna show you, because we are getting into creative work, exactly how I plan out my content, where I speak with my team, where we like brief our stuff together. I'll take you through the whole schmozzle. Eat. Good girl. I really don't know what I feel like for lunch today. I think I'm gonna make a chicken wrap in the air fryer. And I'm going to dust the chicken breast with some plain flour, some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and just like make a little coating. Air fry that and then put it on a wrap. By the way, quick little health and fitness update. I am still on my deficit. I'm down 3 kilos. Which is awesome. I don't talk about it too much over on socials because I know the mention of weight loss and calories and all that kind of stuff can be quite triggering for some people, but you guys know that that's not the journey that I'm on. You guys know that that's probably going to come up in conversation, so you will watch my content at your own discretion. Okay, we've had lunch. Coffee number 2 is acquired, and it is my favorite part of the day, which is my creative work. So basically, I'm going to show you guys my content plan. I'm going to show you how I organize my content. I'm going to show you a little bit into the way that my team works. My team, by the way, is now a team of 3. We have a TR, which is pretty much my brand coordinator. We have my graphic designer as well as my video editor. Now my video editor, she helps me with my YouTube videos. I pretty much just like cut down my clips for her, send them off to her. She puts them all together and then adds her creative flair. I just found that I was really struggling to create YouTube videos of quality for you guys by myself. I was finding that if I was trying to do TikTok and Reels and YouTube, something had to give, and I'm now able to put all my effort into creating Reels for you guys and TikToks for you guys and filming, and I can just like cut down the clips to my liking, and then she'll add the music and like pop-ups and things like that. The kind of like creative editing style that you see on my Instagram, I have pretty much told her replicate that but in YouTube form, pretty much. So yeah, anyway, that's my little team at the moment, and we are thriving. It is great. I'm obsessed with how everything works and the flow and function that we have right now. So I thought I'd show you guys exactly what that looks like. But before we get stuck into it, let me tell you what is on my creative list for today. I've got to edit my podcast and then send the video file off to my editor, and she's going to add her creative flair to that. I'm going to plan out content for 2 weeks because you guys know that I'm going away next week on a road trip to Melbourne. So I've got to plan ahead across all 3 of my brands. Atia actually helps me plan out the habit tracker stuff, but for In Her Power and Beck Stewart, it's all moi. And then I got to plan out my content shot list because I am going to film content tomorrow, provided the weather's okay. So I've got to plan out exactly what I'm shooting, how I want it to be shot, the script if I need to script anything. And then I've got to create the reel that's going live tonight on the Beck Stewart account. I still handle everything Beck Stewart related and In Her Power at the moment. I would love to outsource that. If anyone listening would like to work for me, I would low-key love to outsource like the nitty-gritty social media content creation for In Her Power. So if you know anyone, let me know. So I'm going to create the reel for myself tonight. It's going to be a banger. I have a whole heap of things I need to get done. Of course, as I said, I will set a 1-hour timer, but this is likely to blow out over the 1 hour. It'll probably take me to the end of the day to get it, but I will still set that timer so that I can be nudged and reminded to get up, take a break, take a drink of water, have a drink of water, put on a load of washing, which I do have to do today. That is the list. I'm excited to get those things done. Let me just show you my Notion content calendar. This is the content calendar that I use for all of my content. We have Beck Stewart, the habit tracker, and In Her Power. So I am just going to take In Her Power as an example. So basically the platform is where are we posting it to? The database is basically like what brand is it for? Beck Stewart, the habit tracker, In Her Power, or is it a collabed post with either one of my brands? We have the due date, which is primarily for my designer or my video editor to get things back to me by. Then we've got the posting date, and then we have like the concept. And then you can click it open and it brings up an entire document where you can put things in there. In the space where you can open up the document, that's where I brief my designer or my video editor. So I will either link them with some inspiration that I found it from, or hey, I really love how they did this in this video, or I really love how they edited something here. Can we try and replicate that and like make it our own? I'll give them exactly what I want included in the design, or exactly the text that I want on the graphic, or whatever it is. I'll give them like an entire brief in there. Basically, Atia every single week, she briefs our designer for all the habit tracker stuff, and then I will either brief the designer or the video editor for any reels that I need for the podcast or any graphics I need for the podcast. And then for my brand personally, it's just like more of a mental note. So, okay, what do I need to edit, or what do I need to include in my shot list this week? I have to post X, Y, and Z in 2 weeks' time. We'll shoot it today. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Every single week, I do this exact process. I go in, have a look at my content plan, and plan ahead for a week or 2 in advance. And the same goes for Tia. She does this every single week for me. We do an entire approvals process where I say yes, 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 love, 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 or no, can we change that? Can we push that back? Can we alter the date? Then her next step is to brief the designer, and then she goes and she schedules everything for me. So it is a very beautiful, flowy, perfect system if I do say so myself. Again, we have a very small team, but it works so well for us. So that's basically how we do things, how I plan my content. We communicate through an app called WhatsApp, just because I like to separate iMessage, which I used for everyday texting and messaging with my friends and family. WhatsApp is like more business related stuff. I like to separate the 2 forms of communication. It's just like a nice thing to do for my brain, and said otherwise things get lost, things get bumped down. I also speak to my manufacturer for all my products through WhatsApp. Atia, myself, my designer, and manufacturer, we all have communications through WhatsApp. It's just a little bit easier for me. So basically that's how I run things every single week when it comes to content planning. I get asked a lot about how I plan out my content. I use Notion. I have my entire team assigned to my Notion workspace, and then when there's a task for them to do, I will actually go over to the assign section of the table and assign them the work there. I'm not going to show you what that looks like because I don't have permission to share their names. Atia, you guys probably know and you've met before through YouTube, but my graphic designer and my video editor, I don't have permission to share, so I won't share their names. But that's how I plan my content. That's what I'm going to do today, right now, plan 2 weeks of content. Now, another thing that I have found has worked really well for me over the past 2 years is getting into the zone with music. So when I have a creative flow and I need to shift over my state of mind, so we've gone from a really logical brain, like a really logical thinking side of me, we now have to flip over to creativity and beautiful flowy feminine energy. So what I do is I utilize music a lot. I don't have an office that I can, go upstairs or downstairs. Like I've got a little home office, and I utilize music a lot, which by the way, apparently my human design mine also says that I rely heavily on music. It makes sense because I'm a singer, but on top of that, I utilize music to shift my mood, to shift my vibe, to shift my state of mind. It is so important to me. I actually always listen to 2 playlists on Spotify. I always listen to either lo-fi beats, which is like house music, but also binaural beats and also like lo-fi, obviously, music. Or there's this playlist called Beats to Think To, and it's like super high energy, like binaural, kind of like also lo-fi, but it's like very high energy. You feel like you're in a movie where it's just like constant action. And I feel like that helps my brain continue the momentum. Very strange, I know. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. These are the 2 playlists that I would recommend if you're wanting to get into like a really focused zone or a really like creative flow. Would recommend. Also, classical music is a good one too, just like YouTube it, whatever. I've got a reel to edit, content to plan, podcast to edit and send to my editor to build the video for. I've got a busy afternoon. Putting my noise cancelling headphones on. Probably gonna listen to Beats to Think To today, and we're gonna have a productive afternoon. It is a couple of days later. I have fake tanned, obviously. I got new nails. We went red for our road trip, and the exciting career / vision board business moment that's happening today. So we are barefaced. I've woken up, I've had a shower, and I'm about to start my makeup, and I do need to hurry because I'm vlogging for TikTok and Instagram today as well as for the tube, so it's all happening. I'm a little bit overwhelmed because I skipped my morning routine this morning by accident because I couldn't get to sleep last night. So it's a big thing, but I just realized I haven't even told you guys what's happening today. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get ready first. And then I'll come speak to you guys about what's actually happening today, the details of it, because it's very exciting. Finish the makeup, but that's the result. I'll quickly fill you in what's happening and then I have to go. Okay, I'm about to head off and be a guest on the Chat With Us podcast. I'm doing 3 podcast episodes with them. The first one's all about future you theory, the future you lens. The second one's about healthy habits and the other one's about procrastination. I've seen the questions. They are very in-depth, very, very valuable conversations. I need to have some breakfast though. I need to film the rest of my TikTok / IG daily vlog. Oh, there's so much to film. And then I have to head off because there's going to be traffic and I live about 20 minutes from the studio. I'm home. I've just made myself some protein pancakes, guys. This morning was the biggest rush possibly ever. I was eating my Nutri-Grain in the car. Whenever I do podcast interviews or I host a podcast, I always feel like not drained, but like I've spoken a lot. I've used a lot of brain power. I've formed a lot of sentences, made a lot of sense. And so sometimes I just want to come home and like do the opposite and not make any sense. But we know that this week is a big week in business. I have so much to tie off before Zach and I leave for our road trip this Wednesday. Today, I am finishing off any content I didn't capture from the remainder of this week. And then tomorrow will be a big editing day. And then Wednesday at 4 a.m. in the morning, Zach and I are leaving for our road trip. So I'm actually gonna end this vlog right here. I just have to process what happened. So I'm gonna make myself a coffee, do a little journaling session because I didn't get to do my morning routine this morning. I think I told you guys that. I didn't sleep last night because I was just like thinking of everything. I also read Iron Flame right before I slept and it was a really like high action part of the book and I couldn't stop thinking about what's going to happen next and like all the characters and anyway, whatever, shut up. And I also just wanted to say before I ended the vlog, thank you so much for supporting my channel, for supporting my Instagram, for supporting everything I do. I'm able to live this life and go on podcasts like that and speak with my expanders in rooms like that because of you guys. So I wanted to say thank you so much. I love you so much and I will see you in my next video.